Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another trade recap slash market recap. So today I actually did not end up taking a trade today. I missed out on two good setups. One of them, it was just I didn't want to go up against New York Open. The second one was I didn't have as much conviction, and PA was kind of choppy, but it did end up working out. So I'm gonna break down what those setups were, what was going down into the day, and yeah, let's get straight into it. So today, hopping on into the New York Open. Yesterday, if you guys remember, I was actually targeting some equal lows. So those equal lows did end up getting rated today. These are the same equal lows that I was targeting yesterday. So that's the first thing that I noticed when I hopped on the charts was we had a raid of our equal lows down below. Now we weren't displacing out of any obvious fair value gaps, you could say. Even on like the 5 minute, 3 minute, there was really no obvious fair value gaps we were coming out of. Now you could have maybe set this fair value gap down here or something like that, but there was really nothing that was like obvious to say that, oh, okay, we're displacing higher from here. We have some order blocks down here as well too, but there was really nothing too obvious. Now if you guys come over here to the 1 minute, what is another strong draw on liquidity are equal highs. So if you guys look over here from this high up here to this high right here, we actually did end up having equal highs right here. Oh, ignore my voice crack, my bad, boys. So we did have our equal highs for a set of targets down here. So I was ultimately coming into the day with the bullish bias. I wanted these equal highs up here. And we already sold off prior, so we were already pretty low. You could say we were already in discount of the range. So I obviously wanted to go from discount to premium back up to these equal highs. Now I did notice when I hopped on the charts, we were already inside of a 1 minute inversion right here. So you could have realistically, you could have entered from here and then actually target those equal highs and you would have been chilling. But like I was saying, I just did not want to risk New York Open. This was around, we were at like 918, so we let a few candles play out. This is before the chop, so this is 927, 8, and then boom. This is right here. This is our New York Open. Now from here you could have taken longs, but like I said, you don't want to risk. Well, for me, for example, I've had multiple times where I enter a trade before New York Open. It'll wick down and then it'll wick up to your DOL. So it'll stop you out and then you'll be out of the trade essentially. But my first TP would have been this internal high above right here. Scaled about 50% of the cons right there. So this would be your first TP. And then this would be a nice stop to break even area as well. Now we let it play out. So boom, there was our first candle with major displacement. And then slowly after, we just completely ended up taking out those equal highs. So there you go. Just goes to show that equal highs are always your strong draw on liquidity. Whenever there's equal highs or equal lows, you usually want to go ahead and target those. Now this 1 minute inversion would have been nice. We also did end up having a breaker as well here. So we had our high, low, our raid, and then boom, that's our breaker right there. So this would have been your best possible long setup, but I mean, I just didn't want to risk taking this into straight into New York Open. Now for another trade that I did end up looking as well was up here during it was still AM session, but the other trade that you could have taken. So let's let some price action play out. All right, let me. All right, so when we were up here on this range, once 10 a.m. news hit, we actually did end up sweeping the 10 a.m. news. And then we left, what did we leave from here? We left our data lows right here. So data lows are also a strong draw on liquidity. So I was looking to see if we could maybe get some sort of data low trade back down to these lows. Now we did have this 1 minute fair value gap right here as well too. So I would have liked to see some sort of displacement lower and then get a nice manipulation or displacement back down to these data lows. Now I did end up seeing this setup. If I let it play out, boom, we did close below the gap, but I mean price action was kind of choppy here. And then this is like a low probability setup because like we weren't really coming out of any higher time frame fair value gaps, you could say. Like there's really nothing up here that's pretty obvious saying that, oh yeah, we're going lower. Even on like the 45 minute. Well, I guess on the 45 minute you could have said we were coming out of this 45 minute fair value gap. Now you would have been taking this trade back down to these data lows. Now the only thing that was iffy about this whole trade as well too is that this setup did end up taking quite some time. It took like 45 minutes. So this would have been your first TP and then you could have made your stop loss to break even at this low down here. So we let price play out. You guys can see we're just chop, 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 chop. So there we go. Our stop to break even tapped into it. Now this would have been a break even trade actually. But if we let price play out a little longer, you see just straight chop, 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 chop. And boom, we eventually did end up hitting it. So this trade would have worked out. Maybe if you would have set your stop loss to break even down here, then you would have been fine. Actually, no, it would have still been a break even trade regardless, based on my model. But that was the other possible trade you could have taken. Now I was gonna take this trade, but I mean, look at that holy chop. You would have had to wait 45 minutes until the macro time hit, the 11:50 macro, and then that's when we got our flush. So that's pretty much it for like what I was looking for in price today. It was just pretty bad, honestly. I took no trades, no nothing. So that's it for me today. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Stay blessed and have a good one.